Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with another community cast, this one from Pyroblasting here. Going to be taking the Warriors of Chaos bravely up against the Vampires. This matchup has gone a lot of different ways. Currently I think things are back in favor of the Vampires, especially with how strong Blood Knights are now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lists and see how things are going to be handled here. So we've got a Chaos Lord up in the air. He does fire damage on the dragon, so an excellent pick against the vampires. Combining that, of course, with a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Fire. He's got Fireball, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Piercing Bolts of Burning, as well as the Forbidden Rod. 3 units of Marauder Horsemen with Throwing Axes, and a whole contingent of Chosen here. 4 units of Chosen. 3 Chosen, a single Chaos Marauder, and a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. You can see a Fireball already being unleashed at that Mortis Engine there, the Claw of Nagash, in fact. Narrowly missing, but landing on some Zombies and Skeleton Spearmen. We've got 2 Terrorgeist, the Red Duke, up on the Zombie Dragon, so typical Vampire Flying Goon Squad that you see quite often. We've also got some Skeleton Warriors, Grave Guards, Zombies, and more through the infantry line. Relatively straightforward stuff, a couple of Fell Bats around. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So definitely Pyroblasting's going to have his work cut out for him here in terms of taking on these 2 Terror guys especially, and the Red Duke. It's a lot of gooning power. You can see he immediately charges down into these zombies and so on the ground, because obviously Pyroblasting can take this engagement on the ground. He has the Chosen and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth to give him a bit of an advantage on the ground, so he definitely wants to try and bring that down. You can see he baited a couple of nice breath attacks there, and now the Chaos Lord, both all the javelins being unleashed, and both the Sorcerer Lord and the Sorcerer and the Lord, rather, are both going to be chasing after him. Looks like Foe Seeker, Deadly Onslaught, Pendant of Slaanesh, everything being dropped here. So this, hold on. We need to have a look at this guy's stats here. Let's go ahead and just take into account and appreciate this Chaos Lord's stats right now. So starting from the top, 78 leadership, obviously, 134 speed on a dragon, 98 melee attack, and 98 melee defense, with 742 total weapon strength, 574 of that being armor piercing. This guy has got more armor piercing damage right now than most lords do total weapon damage. So let's just all appreciate how ridiculous this Chaos Lord's stats are right now. So there's no shame in the Red Duke running away there. Just wanted to point that out quickly, that stacking those buffs, the Pendant of Slaanesh, Deadly Onslaught, Standard Die, and the Cascading Fire Cloak all together just made that Chaos Lord insane. Granted, once all that drops, he's going to be significantly less insane. You can see Pyroblasting trying to pull back through his own line here with the Chaos Lord. Looks like a Piercing Bolts of Burning going to be dropping on this Vampire Infantry Horde here. The biggest issue that the Vampires are going to face is dealing with these Chosen. To that effect, the Mortis Engine will be able to do quite well. That being said, Mortis Engines, of course, have to be in melee, and a very nice Fireball, Overcast Fireball, in fact, probably from that Sorcerer Lord of Fire. Just doing about half HP damage to that Claw of Nagash there, and I've been seeing a lot of Fireball lately. It's actually a very good magic missile, probably the best magic missile, especially considering it does extra damage to regenerating units. But yeah, the fact that he's done enough damage to zone out this Mortis Engine with that Fireball is enough to mostly protect his Chosen here, because this Claw of Nagash, or perhaps repeated cycle charges from these monstrous units, could do it. But none of these Vampire Infantry are going to touch these Chosen with their 60 melee defense and 120 armor. They just are not going to get touched whatsoever. And even the monstrous units, I mean, Terrorgeists only have about 20 or so melee attack baseline. Let's see here. Yeah, 26 melee attack baseline. So, I mean, they're going to have pretty close to the minimum base chance to hit against these Chosen, unless they're charging, unless they're taking advantage of their charge bonus. But anyway, you can see the Chaos Lord trying to pull back up into the air here. The Chaos Sorcerer also looking to pull back up into the air. Just this monster mash is yeah, it's definitely well underway. Another Fireball must have landed on that Claw of Nagash that I missed, but actually the Chaos monsters staying on the ground. Very nice breath attacks, though, from the Terrorgeist. Going to do a lot of damage to that Chaos Lord, and he is not too happy now. Obviously, with the Shaggoth on the ground, the Chaos Forces want to try and take this engagement here next to the Shaggoth as much as possible. You can see, speaking of which, he's going to come in, start to bully the Terrorgeist a little bit, and hopefully let this Chaos Lord get back up into the air. He's kind of struggling to do so, and he has routed at this point, meaning that the leadership of the Chaos Forces falls to the Sorcerer Lord Fire here. Very nice focus fire, though. Aerocrastic's doing a great job keeping his Marauder Horsemen safe and using the ammo only on appropriate targets. Like, they haven't been on fire at will, I don't think, this entire time. He's picking and choosing his targets very, very carefully, which of course is going to be important. There are quite some priority targets here, and this Claw Nagash with only 40 armor, of course, is one of them. Some really nice damage coming down from those Marauder Horsemen there. Another decent breath attack. That is another way that the Vampire Forces can deal with the Chosen here. Particularly the Zombie Dragon's breath attack will be very good. Looks like another fireball arcing across, and will that be enough to finish off the Claw Nagash? No, not quite, but it is very, very low at this point, so... that being said, of course, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord being routed, or the Lord rather, being routed off, is being chased by a Terrorgeist, so unlikely to come back. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire here, using that Forbidden Rod, which in this situation is going to be very, very dangerous because he's so low on HP, but he needs the extra Winds of Magic to be able to finish things off here. A Cascading Fire Cloak going down that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, putting him up to 77 melee defense, and of course giving him some extra armor-piercing damage as well. Looks like a little bit of fire at will here from these Marauder Horsemen, but they are just now inflicting a rear charge penalty on a lot of these units here to try and set them into crumbling, pulling away nicely once more, maybe trying to spring this Shaggoth free, but yeah, Chaos Sorcerer takes a couple of hits from the Red Duke there. The Red Duke looks like he's got the Potion of Strength up, so really going hard after it, but a very risky dive from this Chaos Sorcerer, just going all in, trying to finish off this Mortis Engine. Aerocrastic knows that if he can finish off this Mortis Engine, his Chosen are going to be relatively safe, and at this point he's at least set it to crumbling, so this volley should finish it off here, and it does indeed go down in the midst of all these Chosen and Vampire units here. So at this point, obviously, the Red Duke with his armor piercing could deal with the Chosen with repeated cycle charges, but it's going to be tough if all of these Vampire infantry crumble away, which there's not a whole lot left. Most of the Graveguard zombies and more in here are crumbling. It's just a couple of summoned zombies mostly that are holding up the numbers here. The balance of power is very heavily in the Vampire Count's favor, though, so Chaos is going to be in a tough situation not to get terror routed or hit with army losses at this point. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, Shaggoth going to get some good swings in here, hopefully do a little bit of damage, but he's getting really low on HP as well. But you can see the Chaos Lord, 75 HP, and didn't die or get chased off, both of which are very important. It's helping hold this Chaos leadership together at this point. The Marauders finally routed off, but all three units have Chosen with most of their unit models still intact, 51, 53, and 56 unit models respectively. So yeah, these Chosen are going to be able to hold out for quite some time here. You can see the flying forces of the Vampires trying to get back up into the air, summon some more zombies so that they don't get the air-only penalty for a little bit longer here. But yeah, the Marauders still, it looks like a little bit of a mistake there firing into the Graveguard, but they're going to want to try and conserve their ammo to see if they can't finish off like the Red Duke or maybe one of these Terror guys here. Charging into some zombies, just trying to take them off the field as quick as possible. It looks like some breath attacks. Doing a little bit to those Chosen. Actually took out about 4 or 5 unit models perhaps, and now the charge is coming in, and again with the charge bonus active, these units will be able to do some effective damage to the Chosen. Let's see how that unit is faring. They took a lot of damage there, already down to only 41 unit models and pretty close to terror routing, but the Shaggoth comes in, gets a few good hits on the Red Duke, and then pulls away. The volleys from the Marauder Horsemen also coming in and doing some decent damage there, so things are not quite done for. 1 unit of Chosen does get terrified away. 2 still fighting in the pocket here, but ooh, a narrow miss there, unfortunately, from the Chaos Lord, and it looks like he's going to pop his buffs and try and take the Red Duke, but only a hit or 2 will finish off this Chaos Lord with his 76 HP. So yeah, he goes down, which is unfortunate, but most of the Vampire infantry is gone at this point. You can see it's just the 2 Terrorgeists, and the Red Duke's also very low on HP, so despite the fact that this unit of Chosen is terrified, the other unit came back from rout, and 47 unit models there, 40 unit models there, still 35 there. it's going to be interesting. A nice hit from that Shaggoth right on the Terrorgeist here, and again, these units are getting very close to their healing cap, so every hit does count in this late game situation here. Very, very close battle, and Chaos is just barely hanging on, trying not to get hit with army losses, but some really good volleys from the Marauder Horsemen, just doing a ton of damage there to the Red Duke, and he needs to get back up into the air and get away from this ranged pressure. But look at these Chosen. They're all still holding. Their 60 melee defense means that unless this Terrorgeist, I've said it before, unless it has its charge bonus active, it's going to struggle to do any damage at all to these Chosen. And the fact that they can now get a surround on it, you can see the Terrorgeist's leadership is starting to go. It's getting close to its healing cap, so regardless, it should be offline very shortly. And a few more clutch volleys here from the Marauder Horsemen should finish off the Red Duke. So yeah, what is still not great on the balance of power is now looking winnable for Chaos, especially if the Red Duke just crumbles away here. His leadership is not holding up, unfortunately, and it looks like he's at might have stabilized there, but still taking a little bit of damage due to the crumbling, and because there's no more ground units left, they are forced to land, both this Red Duke and the Terrorgeist. The other Terrorgeist is down, and yeah, at this point, the balance of power is swinging wildly back and forth. But the Red Duke, at this point, he's just going to crumble away. Ooh, maybe not. He actually rallied his leadership there, and yet he's flying back into the range. No, dude, what are you doing? Don't come back. He's dead now. He's for sure dead now. Yep, Red Duke's gone, and with him, it's just going to be this Terrorgeist getting wailed on by Chosen. So we'll fast forward a little bit through this late game grind as the Terrorgeist tries to get back up into the air. The Marauders are going to use the last of their ammunition to shoot at him, and now the Chosen just come on in, get a full surround, and I think the Marauders are even going to charge into melee potentially here. But yeah, without units on the ground, this Terrorgeist is going to have to stay here and fight, and of course get surrounded and crumbled away. So man, what a comeback. Awesome game. Big thanks to Aerocrastic. He just posted this in the tournament Discord, and I basically just yanked it. So I hope you don't mind me casting it, Aerocrastic, but that was an awesome game, man. Super cool. Those Chosen, absolute MVPs, man. I'm so glad that Chosen are finally what they should be. 156, 339, and 358 kills. These guys are true champions of the Ruinous Powers here. 114 on that Sorcerer Lord of Fire 2, 41 on the Chaos Lord. These guys, considering the situation they were in, they definitely did pretty decently. I really like the use of the Fireball there to snipe out the Claw of Nagash, and then really nothing else that the Vampires brought to the table could finish off those Chosen, so I really like that use there. Shaggoth was also able to get some effective damage, a couple XP chevrons to go around. For the Vampire player, these Terrorgeists were almost enough to finish things off here. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, just weren't quite enough. The Red Duke also did okay, but they were very much focused on the large targets of Chaos, which then left the Chosen to just cut through this entire infantry line. The only thing that got more than 2 kills was this unit of Graveguard, and I'm pretty sure they were matched up against these Marauders at one point. So yeah, Chosen just beat the brakes off of all of the Vampire Count's infantry, and although they did win the heroic / monstrous phase of the battle, Vampire Counts by that point had already taken enough damage that it didn't matter enough, and some clutch volleys in the late game there from those Marauder Horsemen, even with the Javelins, showing how they can do decent damage to armored units, despite the fact that they're quote-unquote non-armor piercing skirmish unit. But yeah, very fun battle. Big thanks to Aerocrastic for posting that. Hope you all enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.